Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Chat. I am Jake, and I am here to do a weekly reading. I thank everyone who is watching and any likes, subscribes, comments with any questions that you may have for future weekly readings. Just a little housekeeping that next week I'm going to do a video. I'm going to try my best to post a video on Tuesday instead of Thursday. I will be out of town for an extended weekend vacation. So looking forward to that. And I just wanted to didn't want to leave without doing a video on Thursday, but I wanted to give a heads up. I'll put something on posts, which used to be a community post, just as a reminder. If you're looking on Thursday and you didn't see one there, that is why. Okay, so some questions I have for this week's reading. I do have, I'm going to start again with the flow of doing a couple international questions, then focus mainly on the US, and do a general reading for everyone. So, just a little heads up about a little personal thing that I experienced last week, real quick. Last weekend, I think I've stated before, I live in Indiana, and there was a festival called Spirit Fest, the Camp Chesterfield in Chesterfield, Indiana. It's an old spiritualist community, been around over 100 years, and they train people to be mediums, readers, healers, yada yada. And I have not gone to any of those classes or anything like that. I just went to their festival, which was wonderful. They had meeting people that come from all over, whether they worked at Camp Chesterfield or they don't, they work on their own. So if you're ever interested in taking, I think they do online classes and whatnot. You can Google them and look at their website. Again, I'm not affiliated, just thought I'd just pass along information, right? Okay. The first question is, there was a statement that President Trump made during his after his UN meeting about, in regards to Ukraine, in regards to the drones that were heading on, that they said to go ahead and shoot them down, Russian drones, and that basically kind of did a reversal on his stance about the Ukraine thing, and his stance with Russia. So I want to find out if there was a fallout between Putin and Trump, because as you know, they just had that meeting not too long ago in Alaska where he did the red carpet treatment for Trump. So let's find out. Was there a fallout between Putin and Trump? Let me bring this down a little bit, smidge. Well, I don't know if my cars are in the reverse. My cars are all in reverse, and I don't do um, reversal. So the magician card, manifestation is being crossed by the sun card, and again, when things are being crossed, you read them as such as if you're going to read. Words are hard today. It's towards the end of my day. So the sun card, when you lay it on its side, you're going to read it just as if it's a reversal. Um, there's a lot of negativity about, and arrogance. That's probably the better word in regards to what they want to manifest with their partnership. In the recent past, we have, there was some type of progress that happened, but there was something that delayed, something that got reversed. And on the foundation of the reading is the high priestess, the secret agenda, the hidden agenda that was, between Putin and Trump. What's crowning this reading is the Queen of Wands. Um, they were very confident that they were going to get something manifest. There's a judgment card in the near future. This is a new phase of relations with Russia and the United States. Um, you know, Putin really wants. I think both sides want control of the situation, so they're fighting over uh, control. So there is a retreat going on when we look at the outside with the Four of Swords. There's they are not. Both of them are testing boundaries. Trump with his words, Putin with sending drones in certain areas. That's with the hopes and fears. That's what's going on, and there's some type of justice that's going to happen. Some kind of rebalancing of the situation that's going to happen with that justice card, and there's going to be a lot of soul searching about. With the Seven of Swords, there's some type of betrayal. They feel betrayed. Probably Putin does about their partnership here. Need to fix. I have some reversals. Just let me make sure I don't have a lot of reversals. Okay. So yeah, so there is some kind of fallout. Definitely, there's a fallout. They feel. I think Putin, from his side, he feels betrayed by Trump because he's not getting what he wants, and Trump is probably playing a game too. They're pretty very much alike in many ways, and you know he's speaking out. Putin's speaking out through more actions than words, usually. The other thing that was just announced today, or yesterday, sorry for if I incorrectly stated it, but it was recently said about Trump was saying that there's some type of deal that there between Israel and Palestine. Um, is it really a deal going to happen? I don't know. Yeah, he says a lot of things and not necessarily comes to fruition. Or world leaders are like, what is he talking about? So let's ask the spirit guides if um, Trump will cut a deal with Israel and Palestine to some kind of peace deal. Ooh, that one popped out. King of Swords. It's a maybe card. Um, let's see what the full story about this. Is Trump going to have a peace deal with done between Israel and Palestine? Well, we have the death card starting the right now, the endings and beginnings. However, it's being crossed by the Seven of Cups, which is there's a lot of illusions going on with starting this new cycle, ending this, probably from Trump's end. uh, in the past, we have the Eight of Swords. There's a lot of negativity, the feeling like victims. I think that's said based on what we've heard from the leadership in with among the Palestinians and Israel that they both feel like victims and have negative thoughts. So in the past, this is definitely a crossroads with two swords. Difficult decisions is the foundation for this reading. That's a very much so understatement in this situation. Here's the judgment currently the reading. This is a new phase. This is a possible way of going forward in this card. There is with the Three of Wands. There's definitely some kind of preparation. Of course, and this represents overseas opportunities, so I think there will be some type of talks going on. Ace of Wands. Uh, there is an urge to create this potential beginnings. I think basically from the U.S. trying to get this to negotiate. From the outside, they want some type of happiness coming together between the two parties. And definitely the hopes and fears is to do some soul searching with the Hermit card. And it's saying that there's a good chance with the King of Cups, there is going to be some type of deal presented. Doesn't mean it necessarily is going to be a fair deal, but it is going to be some type of deal that is going to be presented. I'm telling you, y'all, this day was a long day, so bear with me with speed. We've all been there, right? We've all been there. Okay, I want to revisit the government shutdown. I know in last week's reading, I did say there is going to be. Um, there's still a good chance there will be, but we'll see come when they come back from recess if it does. So that's what we're going to be asking if there will be a government shutdown and go from there. Okay. Will there be a government shutdown when Congress gets back from recess? Will there be a government shutdown? Remember, the Republicans are trying to pass this clean CR, quote unquote clean, um, in the Senate. They've already passed it in the House. So if the Senate does not pass this, there will be a government shutdown. They need 60 votes. So they definitely need Democrats to vote for this. Will there be a government shutdown? Trying to complete a cycle with the world card with this deal. It's being crossed by the or King of Pentacles, excuse me. There's a lot of stubbornness on both sides. That's not a shocker to anyone. In the past, Republicans were holding all of the cards here. They didn't have any input from the Democrats. Actually, Trump canceled the meeting with the Democrats leadership, so that even adds more fuel to the fire with this disagreement that's going on. The King of Cups is in the base of the reading, so there are individuals there are trying to be diplomatic about things. They want to take action with this Knight of Swords, this crowning the reading. A lot of determinations coming with the Queen of Wands to come up with a deal. Giving and receiving. They with the Six of Pentacles, I think the Democrats say, "Hey, you want our votes? You need to give a lot." Really, what they're pushing for. There's probably excuse me. There are several things that the Democrats are asking for, but mainly is those tax credits with the ACA, the Obamacare, and here's Trump coming in from the outside. Surprise, surprise! Influencing these negotiations. The Page of Pentacles is the hopes and fears. They're hoping that they, as in Democrats, are hoping that there is some type of there's some kind of failure and disappointment. So this has changed a little bit, and it goes to someone that there are some Democrats that have expressed in the Senate. I think Janine Shahian, which is the retiring senator from New Hampshire, has talked about possibly if they could get Republicans to bring up about these tax credits outside of this spending bill, that she would vote for this clean resolution. And there might be other Democrats leaning to her. So there is what the cards are saying, that there isn't going to be a shutdown, but it's going to be painful because I think a lot of people are going to be upset if the Democrats that vote for this. We have the King of Wands, and then there's going to be a lot of financial losses for people because there's no guarantee that there's not much leverage the when Republicans right now have the trifecta of Congress, or the government, excuse me, Congress, the Supreme Court, and the presidency. There's not much leverage that the Democrats can do, but this is one of their pieces. And so there's no guarantee that they will put up any type of bill to extend the tax cuts. However, those that are voting against it know that this could be a leverage to shut down the government. So we shall see. The other thing that's been up right now, as of now, I don't know. I haven't looked up. I know before I started recording, there was they were still waiting on about if James Comey is going to get indicted. A little background about this: this is the former FBI director during before Trump's before Trump's first presidency, as well as during for part of the time, and they are trying to indict him with charges. The previous federal attorney, U.S. attorney, quit because he said there was not enough proof. Bondi, the attorney general Pam Bondi, said that she agreed with this, but Trump said basically you're going to get fired or you can leave on your own. So he left. So this new lawyer, U.S. attorney, that's now representing said that she can charges. And she's not even she's never been, she was an insurance lawyer, so she doesn't even have experience. Shocker, right? Anyway, so let's see if James Comey will be indicted. Because that is going to be troublesome. This is something out of Nixon's playbook if Trump does this, using the Department of Justice to attack legally enemies, so-called enemies from James Comey. Will he be indicted? Okay. Five of Wands. There's a lot of disagreements right now. Which, with this little background I just mentioned, there's a lot of disagreements going around. The Ace of Wands is crossing there, which it's not surprising. There's a lot of chaos and disagreements that are going on about this, about expressing charges against Comey. The Sun card was in the recent past. There was a lot of positivity behind it, but not anymore. And when they did their research, on the base of the reading is 10 of Pentacles. Here's the government with the Hierophant crowning the reading. Here comes the courts with the Queen of Swords, with the unbiased judgment. The Hermit card comes in, a lot of shining light on the truth of the matter. The Star card, there's a lot of hope for Comey, has hope that he won't get an indictment. With Page of Swords, he's going to be communicating. Trump is out there on social media, but this is saying, cards are saying yes, there is going to be some type of indictment going on. That doesn't mean that he's going to be charged with anything, but yeah, there's going to be an indictment. Okay. Before I get to Trump's help, because I have that down, I'm going to, because it's kind of an adjacent subject, is Pam Bondi. If she's planning to leave or she was asked to leave, because even with this Comey thing, like I said, she was not on board because she did not think there was evidence for indicting him. She's had a lot of pushback from things that she said. So let's see. Pam Bondi. She's going to be leaving as Attorney General. Let's say by the end of the year. Is she going to be leaving by the end of this year? Ooh, this card jumped out. No, it's actually more than one card, so. Oh. She feels betrayed by the hidden agenda that she was been working on. Shocker, that actually popped in my head that I was about to say that I think she feels betrayed by what she's been doing for Trump. Like she's been loyal, she's been doing what he's asked, but yet people are unhappy with her. King of Cups, this is probably her that she's trying to be diplomatic and create some kind of balance going on in the background. Um, the Six of Pentacles is crossing this reading. Um, she feels like things are just one-sided. Like despite that she tries to balance things out, Trump always wins. So there's no balance going on. In the Knight of Cups, when this is the past, when she was offered this role, she thought, "Oh, this is going to be great. That I get to do my agenda as well as serve the president, and this is going to be great for me." How sorely her and many others get mistaken. Foundation of the reading. It's the Seven of Cups. Sometimes it means about illusions and delusions, but it can also mean some opportunities are ahead for her that she's thinking about. And I think with the Ten of Cups, she wants happiness again. She's not happy. She wants to look at opportunities to make her happy. And she's in the hermit phase of really soul searching. So I think she is really actively thinking about other opportunities. There's going to be some type of celebration with the Four of Wands of something coming together. She is reminiscing about the past. Yeah, there's going to be a sudden change with the Tower coming in with the hopes and fears, and I think there's the Magician card. There's a good chance she is looking at opportunities to leave because there's going to be something that happens that's a huge change she wants nothing to do with. And yeah, could be possibly the Epstein files because I've talked about this in the previous one that they are going to pass that Epstein thing now that with the special election recently that Democrat was voted in and now they have all the signatures that they need to release the Epstein files. So that might be it. Where she's like, yeah, I'm out. I have this other job lined up, so bye. So we'll see. Let's look at oh, we have another question. Before we get to Trump's where are we at? Okay. I have one question we didn't answer from last week that was about will redistricting, the congressional redistricting that's going on in Texas, and now it's on the ballot for California. Will that redistricting cause Democrats to lose? Well, will the redistricting will will the redistricting, how do I want to phrase this? Will the redistricting hurt Democrats' chance to win the House? Okay. Will the redistricting going on cause Democrats to lose the House in 2026? Here's the Emperor with the Trump being involved in this plan. The Wheel of Fortune's on the side, meaning it's not they're breaking the cycle. It's not good all around. It makes things harder. Before in the past we had temperance, we had some type of balance of norms. I know people will say, think about there's been gerrymandering, but there was some type of temperance in the norms of waiting 10 years and whatnot. The King of Swords is the foundation of the reading. This is going to cause Democrats to have a lot of hard work. They already had hard work before, but even harder work to push forward with the Ten of Wands. There's going to be a lot of insecurity with the Five of Pentacles at hand when they're working together. But then there's, again, this Four of Wands is showing up. There is some type of celebration and joy coming up. There is going to be this hangman, I think is talking about from the outside, letting go of these norms. The Republicans want to do it. We as Democrats in Democrat areas have to do it too. This is with the government, the hopes and fears. Um, and then we have the nine of wands with boundaries. Let's look a little bit more. We have the Queen of Wands, looking at the long-term view, wishing for the happiness. But then there's this Tower moment that comes again in here. And then the Lovers card, working together because of this. But there's some type of transition. So it's a maybe. And of course, Russia's going to be involved in the midterms, which is not surprising either. So there's a good chance it can go either way. I think it's not going to help the Democrats in that sense to make it any easier, but they're trying to mitigate that they're by other states hopping on board the redistricting in Democrat strongholds. So we'll have to see what comes out to fruition. Okay, last question that I'm going to do before a general message from my from Spirit to for everyone. Uh, we're going to look at Trump's health. So, Spirit Guides, what can you see about President Trump's current health situation and what's upcoming as well? Show me President Trump's health is currently and what's coming ahead for him. President Trump's health. Right now, they're going through some kind of change right now. There's some kind of with this Empress card, he's right now he's feeling overwhelmed. He's not taking care of himself like the doctors have asked him to be. Um, in the past, this is showing him how he was very confident about his health and who he is. I don't think anymore that's the case. He's not in the same health wise. I mean, we can even see that with his cankles. The Six of Pentacles is the foundation of the reading. Um, the King of Swords is crowning the reading. Uh, yeah, he's trying to be. He's having problems with his mental clarity and even his physicalness. His oh, I got a reversal card. So the Wheel of Fortune's reversed. I'm going to keep it that way. Bad luck. He's resisting the change. This is a negative phase in his life. When the King of Pentacles is next. He's wanting. He's worried about is not his health. It's about his money situation. However, with the Ace of Cups, he's right now very behind the scenes, very upset about his health preventing him to be what he really wants to be in parts. The Hangman, he might have to be forced to rest and take a pause of what he's doing. And here's the government with that Hierophant. So, and I got this the last time we did this with the Ten of Swords. I think he's going to have another collapse. I think it said that he must have fell or whatnot in England, that they kept hush hush. I think he's collapsing more often, tripping, things like that. Illusions in a lot of emotions going on. And there's something that's going to happen very quickly. And there's going to be planning for his health events. And that's Trump's going to feel trapped in his body. And there is a plan ahead when he has these medical things about maybe JD Vance taking over, on certain duties when he can't do things. And we've kind of seen that where the vice president has stepped forward a little more than usual. in recent months. Okay. What we're doing now is a general reading for the audience. Again, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, any questions you want to ask, not personal, but questions for next week's reading. So, Spirit Team, what message do we have for the general public? What is a message that best can help them at this time? Two of Cups, partnerships, connections, crossed by the Ten of Pentacles. Um, I think right now with we can feel disconnected right now because we're feeling very unstable in these times. We have to remember to um, everybody's going through this you're not alone, basically. We're all going through this time, and connecting with people. Yes, we can connect online, but even more importantly, one-on-one, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, go out for a movie, go out for lunch, things like that. um, because again, in the past, we've experiencing all this anxiety and stress with the Nine of Swords. In the Ace of Pentacles, the foundations, we have to remember what we want to manifest. How do we want to see our future? Not just for the world, but even more importantly for ourselves individually, because we have so much power individually to make changes. We have more control than we like to think. We want to sit in this tech. When we get in this one, we can get stuck. But we have spirits just telling us to connect with others, to also help remind yourself about the abundance that we all have. And you may say, well, Jake, I may not have a lot of money. I'm not just talking financially. I'm talking about spiritually. I'm talking about loved ones, about things that we do have, and to rest. Take some time and rest. Detach yourself from, you know, TV, media, reading, if it's too much for you to handle. And think about happy memories. Think about things that made you happy, and revisit some of those things that make you happy. Because a lot of things out there are not as what it seems. What's being told on social media and on the news may not be 100% true. It may also be from a certain perspective, so you're not seeing the other perspective per se. So don't get hung up when you read one thing that necessarily that's how it is. Um, because right now, from the outside, we're going through a lot of swift changes. We all know this is not something new. We all know, and it's a lot to handle. And it's okay to feel unstable right now. But there are things we can do to help mitigate those feelings. The King of Wands is a reminder of hoping to overcoming challenges. We can overcome this rapid change that we're dealing with. And the Queen of Cups. Give yourself compassion, give other people compassion, keep calm about what's going on, because eventually things will come better. And here's the World card. We're going through a cycle completion and heading into a new cycle that's better. Okay? With that, again, thank you so much for coming to watching this weekly reading. Again, like, comment, subscribe. And until then, I'll try to see you next Tuesday, not Thursday. Until then.